Hey, welcome to another episode of the Alpha Geek Podcast. We got a special episode. We're covering Fortnite. And who better to cover our Fortnite episode rather than two extensive players? Extensive? I don't know if that's going to be the right word, but I want you all to please welcome DeVante and Jack to the camera.
Hey.
Yes, sir. What's going on? It's DeVante, and we have here...
I am Jack.
And we're here to talk about Fortnite, how we feel about it, the new season, the old season, and so on and so forth.
Oh.
Okay. So I have some things that I want to say about this new season.
Well, first, before we get into new season, when did you start?
Start playing the game in general or this new season?
Just in general.
In general, I started, it was kind of early when I'd say probably around it was like when Fortnite just started getting popular. I don't remember what year that was or how old I was, but.
Gosh, yeah, I forgot year. I remember I caught the end of the very first season when it dropped. Caught the very end of it, and then I started really getting into it the next one right after that. Like real early on, like right when it was catching.
Well, at first when I started playing, it was, I just tried it to see what the hype was about, but then eventually I was like, I'm bored of this game. I don't want to play this. So then I stopped playing for a long time. Then I came back. Then I stopped. And I came back. It's usually how it happens.
No, I was the opposite. I started right away. Most of my money went towards it. Had a job as a cook. Most of my check went, if it wasn't for gas, it was for Fortnite skins. It was bad obsession.
Yeah, I was the complete opposite. I'm like, I'm never spending a dime on this game. You will never see me. But that changed recently. So, but yeah, all the seasons. Every time they come out with like a new season, a new chapter, I love the like the build up that they go into it in the story modes that they like do for each new season.
Yeah, I wasn't really big with. No, this is very bad because every season has a story.
Yes,
I'd watch the cut scene. I'm like, cool, that's a cool skin. So I didn't follow the story at all. But then they had some of the seasons where like some of the skins didn't follow the story. Like,
yeah,
where did Optimus Prime come in?
Yeah, a lot of times
nothing to do with the story.
They would just throw in characters from whatever movie or TV show was out recently at the time and just be like, oh, hello. But for me, it was mainly like the Fortnite events. Yeah. At times, like I said, I didn't play the game as much, but they'd be like, oh, there's a Fortnite event. I'd be like, let me go on YouTube, look up what happened on Fortnite. Because they were so cool, especially when there were concerts like Travis Scott and all that. I was definitely there, sit down.
No, I didn't do much with that. Like, I think when I kind of did what you said, you did the cut off from it, was that whenever people started really trying super, super hard, whenever speed building became a thing.
Oh, don't get me started on
that's when I cut off for like a year or two.
Yeah.
Because it was like at that point, because I'm console. Keyboard, mouse, I've never really played with. Might need to eventually move over, but I've always been controller. Xbox mainly.
Same.
Speed building was just never my thing. Could never pick it up, and I get there was like a lot of practice with it. I can hit build and spam very quick. I can look like I'm building.
You just have a wall and the floor. And it's just
building towers and
no
stuff.
Foundation.
No. When it got to that point, because a lot of my friend group, I had like a big friend group that I played with. I met with first this dude. His game tag was a dead bunny. First dude I met, and we just started playing. Then he met some people. I met some more people. And we ended up having like a big like Snapchat group chat. It was like 9 of us playing, so we'd all get on. We'd be playing like 2 squads competing against each other. It was a lot of fun. But I remember like as that time kind of went on, people started trickling out. Like I was one of the last ones, I think, or probably not, but
dedicated. Dedication.
I just remember it got to the point where I'd shoot once. Once I saw 4 stories built, I just turned and went the other way. I didn't even bother fighting.
Yeah, when it came to building, I didn't care for it. I mean, it was cool seeing people like, boom, it's a building right there in front of you. However, whenever it came to like me building, anytime I pressed that button to get into build mode, I'm like, what am I looking at? I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to press this button ever again. So I never really cared for it. But yeah, build versus no build. Which one are you?
Oh, no build.
No build.
No build for sure. I like build because it's how it started. But you still got the speed builders, and I'm not putting in hours of practice to try and match that.
Yeah,
I'll spam, but I'll just stay towards the ground.
Yeah, same.
But no, I like no build.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more challenging, I guess, because you don't have that. If you're out in the open, you can't just build randomly.
Exactly. I used to be no build all the way because, like I said, I didn't care for building. But recently, once I started playing with you and the group and things like that, once I got into build and I figured out what to do once I pressed that button and there's a wall right there, which is protecting me, I started to understand, like, this build thing's not bad. However, when they did all the speed building stuff and all, I didn't care for it. But, like, when it comes to, like, healing or if I need to reload and stuff like that, I have that just in case I'm, like, I'm about to die,
Yeah.
So I think I prefer build now. Because sometimes when I go back to no build, I'll think I have build. And I'll press it and I'm like,
I hate that.
And then I'm just getting shot at because I'm thinking I'm doing something that I can't even do at this level.
I'll switch. I used to switch. I haven't played build in a while. But every time I go to build, I wouldn't build. And then once I started building again, I'd go to no build. And I'm spamming and I'm jumping and I'm just screaming. I'm like, I'm trying. I can't. And it's just it's just awful. So I usually just stick no build now.
Gotcha. So
now, mention new season.
Yes,
you played a little bit. I'm a little mad at Fortnite right now.
I know. I was about to bring that up. We'll come back to that though. Yep. So with this new season, going from last season, or is it chapters? I don't know. I get confused. Is it a new chapter? It's
chapters. And chapters first, so the bigger thing, and then seasons.
Okay. So the chapter's the bigger thing. The season is.
Gosh, I really hope that's right.
Yeah, whatever it is that just happened this new time, it's supposed to connect to the previous chapter or season. But last season was like, what's the word? Like samurai and swords, and all the buildings had like some type of oriental type of like shape to it, and there was about like spirits and all this type of stuff. I thought it was amazing. Thought it was great. I loved the swords. But then at the end of it was saying like there's something about gold. What's all this gold stuff? This gold magic. And then into this new season, you remember?
Oh, I remember that mountain. And we went to it and there was nothing but a portal.
It was just gold stuff. But now in this new season, Midas, I don't remember how to say his name. Midas, when he touches everything, it turns gold.
Oh, yeah,
he came back, apparently.
Okay.
So now it's like there's some mountains that have gold in it. There's like, and that's why I'm confused. There's gold, but then it's also about like robbing banks and people's houses.
Now,
and you're trying to get as much gold as you can from them. And then there's like an underground market, and I'm just confused with the correlation.
I don't understand the storyline anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
It's now just kind of like, because I know there was like the big, one of the big seasons, and then I looked, it is chapters seasons. So what it says, chapter 6, season.
Whatever season.
2. I forgot at this point. But I remember like one of the big expansions. There was I don't know if it's when bosses first started getting introduced. Each one had like their own vault. There was one area specifically that was like a mansion with a bank. Oh, it like looked like a bank on the inside, which is cool. But storyline,
Yeah.
I don't know, because I remember when the storyline started, where it's at now. I don't know how they match. I've probably from when I stopped playing, I probably missed a whole bunch. I know I did.
From this recent time?
No. So like before I got off for that long period. Yeah. So I know I missed a whole bunch of the story. But it's just when it started, it's like it's so different.
Yeah.
From when like all the story stuff started happening, and it was like a little timeline, all the cutscenes and stuff when the season just opened up, to now is. I just
don't even try to connect the dots. At one point, it was like we're on an island. Then there was some type of like, I guess, dispute going on. But then there's like a purple cube and it moves around the island. Do you remember that? And then the cube like rolls around.
Oh, that thing where you hit it and it like launch you.
Yes, yep. The purple cube. But then the cube would like move around the island, and then it gets to a certain spot in the island, and then something from underneath the island comes out into the sky. But then something about aliens, and then like there's portals to other dimensions, and then Ariana Grande, and then it was I don't understand.
It was her.
It was her because she had a whole concert, but then part of it was part of the story because like her wings were made out of the portals to the other universe.
Now that I don't understand. Why do you have to put that in there?
I don't know.
Because now that you're mentioning all the purple cube brought me back. I think I stopped playing whenever it was already after Tilted Towers got blown up.
Yeah.
By
Isn't it like a huge spaceship that crashed or something?
It was like no, it was like I swear it was the biggest thing I remember last was the big meteor though. The big meteor that came down.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of mixed a little bit after the purple cube, I believe, if I remember right. It's been a little bit, but
it's either after or that's what brought the cube, something like that.
Yeah, but I remember the big meteor coming down. That was the last bit of the storyline, so like I got to see a little bit. And again, I didn't really follow it, so it was like, oh, cool. And then the big events would happen. Everyone would log on. No one would kill each other. And we were just trying to build our highest point to see. Yeah. That was cool. I will say that was cool. But after all of that, it's just like the Ariana Grande thing. I never knew she was part of the storyline. I was like, oh, they put her in the skins. Cool.
Yeah, with that, okay. I never really understood. I feel like it was really just for the concert.
Yeah.
But then they were trying to find a way to make it correlate to, because I just remember her coming through the portal and like flying in, and she started singing.
They don't need to do all. I mean, as a separate thing, that'd be cool. But fitting into a story, that's just
There's no point.
There's no point in that. Like I remember, this is a more recent one, Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
His animated character was up in the sky, ginormous.
Yeah.
Like looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but if it's part of a story, now whether it is or not, I'm like, what does that have to do? Whether it's a promotional thing, I can see it as a promotional thing. Be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I think it was more promotional because I feel like they try to have these concerts, but then I feel like when they do the stories and stuff, I feel like it's just multiple. Like they have a story that they want, but then they just have these other promotional things, like you said, Transformers, or like at one point it's the Avengers. I think the Daredevil thing is out right now.
Yeah.
There's a skin about that. But I think they just all mush it into what they already had into play, and it's just like, oh, there's Juice WRLD in the sky over there, but then there's ninjas fighting over here, and then it's just like
rob a bank over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
No, they did like promotional stuff's good, storyline's good. They have a lot of game modes already because they have a lot of like people creating maps.
Yeah.
They create their own maps, which is really cool. Again, like the concerts, it's their own kind of game mode, which is cool. If they could just separate, like keep them separate, I feel like it would have been a little bit less of a jumble of stuff. Which, I mean, again, like seeing Juice WRLD in the sky while playing I mean, it was cool, but
Yeah.
whether it had to do with like a story or just a promotional thing. And then Ariana Grande, it's like, if you're going to do it for like a promotional, like a concert piece, you don't need to plug it into the story necessarily.
Right.
That, like, you could still have like for me, like I see like still same kind of thing, but like different game mode coming through the portal. That's the concert. That's its own separate thing, own separate game mode. And then the story mode continues on its own path. You didn't have to mush it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that.
I could agree with that. However, on the contrary, I loved every concert. Every time they had a concert, I was like, I'm there, because the animation and the effects, and then like sometimes they'll make it interactive. Like you'll be flying next to like whoever's singing, you'll be like flying right next to them.
Yeah,
they did Astro World, and it was like a big old amusement park, and then we went to space, and then I'm like jumping around his head, and it was just cool.
I did I think the only one I did was the Kid Lori one.
Kid Lori, I don't think I was there for that one.
I was there for that one. I think that was the only one. That was kind of interesting. That was I think the first like concert I ever did, and it was like a live event. One day I'm like, okay, I'll play it. Played it, and it's like different game modes, so you like kind of compete. I remember there was one. It was like you're running from like you collect coins, which was kind of cool, but it was like weird to me because I'm like, okay, all I gotta do is collect a coin. But anyways, from there, that was like, I think that's the only one I've done.
Yeah, I feel that. My favorite, no, not my favorite. I remember the first one. It was the Marshmallow. I think that was their first concert. It's crazy to see how they grew from start to finish, and now it's just these huge old things. But yeah, Fortnite's really grown. It's really grown.
I enjoy playing it. Some of the stuff they've gotten rid of, I wish they'd bring back. But I mean, there's stuff like that for every game. Every game I've played, but I know it's just gonna keep getting bigger. I'm glad they brought back OG though.
Yeah.
To an extent, they haven't. For me, they haven't brought back. They brought back the very first one at one point, but then they add on every week. I'd wish they kind of just keep it
like the original OG. Yeah, because I feel like at what point where are they going to stop that? Are they just going to repeat until they get to the present and where we are now?
Yeah.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Alpha Geek Podcast. Huge shout out to our special guest, Jack and DeVante, for jumping in and dropping some serious Fortnite knowledge. Whether you're cranking the 90s, chasing that victory royale, or just here for the crazy crossovers, we appreciate you hanging out with us. If you had a blast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your favorite Fortnite moment in the comments. Until next time, stay geeky, stay awesome, and we'll see you on the battle bus.